Hello there Scapers, my name is Xenobelius and today's mainly patch week, spring fair and patch week. That's what I'm going to cover. So these are actually my favorite kind of video to make, more so than the big update video to be honest, because they involve so many things that make the game better in my opinion, and this week is no different. So after a few really good update weeks, now we have another patch week which is loaded with really good updates. Let's begin with one that they teased a few weeks ago. That is the Slayer counter will now also show you Reaper task. So you can see I've got 6 AOD left. You don't need to check your Grim Gem all the time. I wish you could choose a new Reaper task with this as well, but you know, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, that's pretty handy. You can also hover your mouse over the Slayer task to see whether or not you have claimed this creature's soul. Clearly this was wrong because I've got my trim comp cape on, and so I've got all my Ushabtis done, all my souls done, but it says you haven't claimed it, probably because gemstone dragons are 3 different types. Next, they have made it impossible for you to be able to disassemble master clues and master clue caskets and master clue scrolls. So if you try to disassemble it, please Jagex, please, thank you. Whew, that was a close shave. It should not let you. Don't try this at home guys. That could have been disastrous. I trusted Jagex, thank goodness it paid off. Another thing is that, as you can see, I've got a level 20 fishing rod with the Prosper perk, and when you check it, it should tell you what its effect is, including the line for master clues. So it says it's got a 1% chance for elite clues found this way to be upgraded to master. Good that they've mentioned it. It has a 10% increased chance to activate, so instead of 1% it's 1.1% I suppose, because it's at level 20. That is something to do with invention, not to do with today's update. So it takes a while to get it to 20, don't get me wrong. Next we have an FC update. So you can favorite up to 5 different FCs. I like to use the Viswax FC a lot, so I'm going to favorite it. Yes, select. Hopefully that worked. Yes it did, cool. So number 2, it will also say Viswax, so I need to actually join the FC before I can try it. So of course everyone's favorite FC is Raid FC. That's the one I'm going to add, and if I click it, it should add it. Overwrite, yes. That's pretty handy to be honest, not gonna lie, I don't have to type it any longer. Although it doesn't actually let me switch to the different FCs, so I can't switch to Raid FC. I have to actually leave this FC before trying it, which is a bummer, but whatever, it's a good start. Enchanted gem packs have been added, similar to Spirit Shard packs for example, to Slayer's Master stores, so you don't have to buy them one by one, you can buy the packs, which will save you from doing trips to the bank to stock up. I guess the most common use of these is to craft Rings of Slaying for precious components. So yeah, I'm not actually going to buy it because I've got enough precious components, but it's cool that you're able to do that. 5 times 50, so that will give me 250, plus I've got 300 there to collect on its own as well. Hopefully they don't stack. I wonder if they do. Let's see. No, they don't stack. That is very nice. Skill cape perk icons also appear on max and completionist capes. Now this was one of the annoying things that I wish was there in the game. Now it is, so you can actually see which skill cape perks I've got. Of course the defense cape perk is probably the most important one, at least for me, because I die so much. Without the sign of life I would die even more. So yeah, you can see that, and of course you can click on perks to remove them and replace them as well. You can also quick chat how many skilling pets you've got and which different types you've got. For example, let's see, I'm going to tell everyone I've got Bernie. Of course I don't, so yeah. That's pretty handy I guess. It's good to show that off just to complete the set, since you could do it with boss pets, you couldn't do it with skilling pets before, and of course Guthixian butterflies. This time of the year again, so yeah. I think Suomi got 5 bill XP by accident by clicking on one of these butterflies, so be careful guys if you are a pure especially. Now for those of you who've done a lot of fish flingers, especially the people that did it for trim, shameless self plug here, I have got a guide for it if you want to look it up. But on the other hand, you can now store your fishing urns into your tackle boxes. So the champion's tackle box will be able to store 15 per slot, and I think there are 5 slots, so you can store up to 75, which is very handy. This is one of the better updates today, to be honest. This tackle box was just lying in my bank for so long, now it's actually got a use, so I'm actually pretty chuffed about that. Thank you Jagex for that. On a similar note, the gem bags, coal bags and enhanced gem bags can now deposit their contents directly into your bank when you have the bank interface open. So if you right click it and click empty, it will deposit to your bank. As you can see, my uncut ruby stack went up, and unfortunately it doesn't work the other way around. You can't put it into your gem bag when you release it. I wish you could, but again, I'm happy with this update. Just a little one, but pretty cool. Vengeance and Disruption Shield will no longer be affected by the global cooldown, which means you can cast them in between your attacks. So for example, let me try doing some revolution DPS. So let me just cast this and then boom. Oh, cool. That is pretty handy. Let's try that again. Yeah, that is actually going to be quite useful in a lot of situations, especially Disruption Shield more so than Vengeance, and it will allow you to not have to skip an attack as well. I'm not really sure about the intricacies of PvP in EOC, but I can definitely see that being a major player in EOC PvP. Alright, so there have been a bunch of changes to deep sea fishing, mostly to improve the quality of gameplay. The first one is probably the fact that you now have text depicting where different types of fish are, which is pretty handy, I guess, because it's kind of hard to tell as a newcomer. Next is one of the things that was a bit annoying for me when I was testing these out. Although it kind of made sense, you were using a net, you weren't using a fishing rod. When you were doing swarm fishing within deep sea fishing, it would not give you any XP for your augmented crystal fishing rod, but it would for your Rodomatic. So now it does. Unfortunately, I can't really show this because I'm capped out at 1 mil item XP, but I'll just take Jagex's word on this because I do not have a spare crystal fishing rod, so I'm gonna have to live with this. Surprise update, they have doubled the amount that blue blubber jellyfish heal per bite, guys, from 750 to 1500. Just kidding. I was dreaming about this last night and then I woke up, so it was just a dream, nothing more than that. But another thing that a lot of people found really annoying, and so did I to be honest, was the fact that even if you lost concentration for a few seconds, you would lose your entire stack, your entire streak. Now you only, I say only, but you only halve the streak if you lose concentration. So I mean, I'm not really sure how to take that. I was kind of hoping it would decay rather than lose it entirely, but let's have a look. So my streak is at 6. I'm gonna stop for a bit and hopefully it will go down to 3, and it just went down to 3, and hopefully it will go down to 1.5 or 1 or 2 depending on how it's rounded. Oh, never mind, I've maintained it at 3. Okay, it's not too bad then. Next is an update to do with calm sailfish spots, which now last longer. Unfortunately, I can't really show it here because I haven't been lucky enough to spot it, but they are pretty rare. That's a reasonable update. I always felt the calm sailfish spot didn't last as long as it should have done for what it was named. And there are 4 other updates to do with the random events, the encounters. So the sea monster encounter is now easy to complete. The whale encounter is slightly more difficult. The jellyfish encounter is easy to complete. And basically all encounters are now easy to complete on less populated worlds. So the success doesn't depend as much on the number of players. It hopefully scales according to the number of players in any given world. But yeah, that's all for deep sea fishing updates. Next we have hidey holes. So there was a hidey hole near the Remington House portal, somewhere here, which used to be on the same spot as the ticket vendor for Circus, and now it's been moved, thankfully, from here to here. So let me actually make it because I have not made any. This is the first one I made. What am I doing with my life? Probably because I don't do easy clues or medium clues or hard clues since that infamous video. But yeah, I'm just going to fill it up, and what's in the hole? I don't actually know. You know what? That's a lie. I do actually know what's inside the hole. So I put 3 items in there, and there was a bug before where when you withdrew items from the hidey hole, you needed 1 more invent space than required. So there are 3 items in here. If I empty my potatoes, this is what I take to Chaos Elemental, by the way. So if I empty that, I have 5 spaces. You needed 4 spaces to take out 3 items. I'm gonna remove 1 potato, so now I have 4 spaces. I'm gonna remove another one. Because of this update, I should still be able to take items out, and I was able to. So that's actually a big problem across RuneScape, not just with hidey holes. The fact that even when you're doing an action that replaces something in your inventory with another item, sometimes there are things that require you to have an extra space despite you not actually using up that space. You're replacing an item with an item, but the game thinks that you need the space. So I hope they fix that across the board, but this is a good start. I'm going to fill up my potato sack. You can now use noted items to recharge the Pharaoh's scepter. So let's try that. So I want to teleport to, I think that's the right one, hopefully. Please be the right one. I can never tell with these. Can you actually tell me in brackets the English name for it? That would be handy. Okay, thank goodness it was the right one. So right click, recharge stone artifacts, and yes, I used up 12 stone seals to get 6 charges. So you still can't recharge it until you completely deplete it, which is a bit annoying, but doesn't really matter. And last but not least, I've left the best till last, at least from my perspective. It is that you can now see Grand Exchange buy limits every 4 hours for every single item within the GE interface itself. You don't have to go to RuneWiki or anywhere else to actually look for it, some obscure place. But yeah, let's try and buy a Christmas cracker, just casually of course. Buy limit per 4 hours 2. So I only have 10 mil. It's good to know anyway. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to buy it with 10 mil, but it's good to know. Actually, let's try and buy it with 1337, 133. I won't actually have enough money for another 7, so that's what I'm going to put it for. But anyway, that is it for the video. There are a few more little updates, mainly ones I couldn't really show you guys, but these were the major ones. Hope you enjoyed these kind of videos. They're pretty easy for me to make, but also good to get an overview of the week's patches, stuff that actually makes the game better in my opinion, more so than new content in a lot of ways. But yeah, the reason for me not making too many videos recently is that I have a ton of clues to do. So that's what I've been doing, grinding through them, trying to get through them, trying to make that video for you guys, and hopefully not repeating any of the shenanigans of the loot from 25 hard clues videos. So enough rambling from me. Hope you enjoyed the video, hope you enjoyed the updates, and I will see you in the next one.